from dust and turned me into such. All you granted me was lust, and what I seemed to have grown was rust. Are you displeased? Are you angry? My might and my angels' wings have been bruised and restrained. Those who break to blood are so fumes in vain. So believe in me and let time your leader dead. Rise!
We put our hands on the door and it opens. Then Ione stops being low poly and starts interacting with everybody. Inside, the walls of this temple are highly reflective. And we have another trial, another little riddle. Something broken but never picked up. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but the answer was trust. Then there were actually a couple different answers, but that was the first one that we got. Then there's a little parkour challenge that we we, we got across it relatively okay. Getting back shouldn't be a problem, right? Right, guys? Right? Anyways, uh, we get through the last door, and there are these funky little crystals that we are drawn to within this. Actually, there was a puzzle balance, but then we get in, and there are these fancy little crystals that all of us seem to be very, very intrigued by, connected to, if you will. We get those, and whenever we get those crystals in our grubby little mitts, spiders the size of people start skittering towards us.
Technically
And
larger.
yeah, technically larger. Oh yeah, because there were still two, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
significantly so.
Yeah, never mind. Horse-sized spiders. Um, were coming at us. That's not very cool. Um, so we start running. You know that parkour that definitely shouldn't have been that definitely wasn't a problem. It was definitely a problem. I almost died and and fell down, and then I believe it was also Ione and Thorin that almost fell. Zap was the
Everyone
only one.
almost fell.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
almost
Zap
died.
was the only one who almost
Kinda
got
made
all the
it.
way across. Yeah. And then we pull ourselves up and we get out of there, away from the scary spoders. And that is where we left off.
All right. So, first off, Rec, you should probably turn on the RPG sessions thing on your Twitch, because it isn't working.
Yeah, for some reason the extension's not working, so I have to do it the way I did the avatar stuff.
Oh,
Do we
okay.
want to roll Destiny points?
Yes, we should roll
Yes.
Destiny points.
Be a very good idea. Well, that's off to a nice start.
Nice.
All right, that's good.
Mr. Thorin.
Sorry, it wasn't
There we go.
the thing wasn't updating.
Thanks, Thorin, for giving us 2 light side pips. I greatly
I know, I'm
appreciate
just like that.
it.
To make things perfectly balanced, and because of what's going to happen this session, the dark side radiates through, and so I'm going to add another dark side.
Whoa.
How lovely.
It's a spooky.
So, the dogs, or the Sirritunian wolves, rather,
Oh yeah, forgot about
begin
the
waking
wolves.
up.
Mm-hmm.
What do?
Are they groggily waking up, or are they immediately trying to claw out of their restraints?
A bit groggily, and then they're trying to, like, run away.
Thorin does the typical dog handling thing and tries to see if it'll sniff the backside of his hand.
You sure you want to do that?
I did not say I'm sticking it into its face, near its mouth.
Its nose is, in fact, near its mouth. I
Yes.
hate to be the bearer of bad news,
No.
but it is, in fact, close.
So it just looks like he's trying to run away.
They're, like, trying to get up. They can't really get up. Yeah. You have one turn to do something before they will start doing something, and you will not like what something they're doing.
Could I
Could I try and put them to sleep with medicine?
Sure.
Probably one of them.
Roll me a 2 red, 2 purple medicine check.
All right.
It is against their resilience.
I'm gonna flip on this.
Okay. Also, just making sure they are still cuffed together, correct?
You're correct. We never uncuffed them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here we go.
I would hope not.
Well,
Okay. You are able to knock one of them out as you find the right anesthetic that will basically just conk them out. You inject into one, and then the other one realizes what you're doing and freaks the fuck out, and both of them turn into snow and show up about 20 feet away. But it clearly isn't how far the one expected, as it's freaked out by how close you are. It is still trying to run away. Can't.
And it's still in the shackles.
So the shackles go with it. Okay, so it's not like Misty Step and all that bullshit.
okay.
For reference, they have the same ability Loth Wolves do.
Yeah, I had a
Could I
feeling.
try and
Technically, they cannot carry each other.
so
They are bound together. That is the only reason they have not escaped.
so I know that it's usually like survival check with animals. Could I argue for discipline because of certain abilities?
I would prefer you DM me what certain abilities so I understand what you're talking
Just force.
about. That's still survival.
Okay, that's
Knight.
fair.
Knight, reading up about this planet, could I roll genealogy to see if I've heard anything about these wolves?
You could. It will be. Is there something specific you're trying to think about?
What
There-
I'm more trying to determine is, obviously I wasn't able to do this in session 1 because of time constraints, but are they domesticatable or are they always wild, I guess?
I mean, by technicality, literally any animal is domesticatable.
Not cats.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, with that, I guess easy.
Okay.
Could
So-
I try and calm them down by using my
Or
pheromone
successes.
ability? Ooh.
Okay. They are probably domesticatable. In what you read up about the planet, they're usually like the only thing the wolves are really used for is people will come onto the world, find like a pack of them, knock a couple out, and take them off world for fighting rings.
Yeah.
So you assume because they've been taken for fighting rings, they can probably be trained, which means they are probably domesticatable.
So-
Furthermore, at that, with those extra successes, could I also have read up about how domesticating usually goes for them? Like, is it a usual just like hold food, they come to you, or
Give
is there
food
some
for
form of
doing what
alpha
you
male?
want them to do.
Give food, you said?
Give food for doing what you want them to do.
Yeah,
So-
basic dog shit.
Okay.
Then could I make a survival check to try and just calm down this one?
Sure, it will be against its discipline. Let me go find its discipline.
Any chance I could add force die to this? I don't have any powers for that, but
Sure, it'll be 3 purple.
any objections if I flip?
I got one.
No.
Just remember, the dark side is raging.
Cryonic is just watching all of this happen with a very confused expression
Well-
on his face.
That's not good.
No!
I could not have rolled
Christ,
worse on
Shadow.
that.
Buddy,
Okay, well, I'm dead.
you try to calm it down, and it looks at you and decides that you are not something that it wants to be calm in front of, and it freaks out more.
Okay.
Okay. So I am going to, as it's freaking out, I'm just going to like approach it from the back and slowly like approach it as I try and release my Zeltron pheromones to try and calm it down.
Joke. Anyway, yeah, I guess make a charm check.
Okay.
It'll be 3 difficulty.
All right. Taking 2 strain to activate my Zeltron pheromones. And I would like to flip as well. Because I don't want to fight these things again.
We are so fucked when Knight throws whatever combat encounter he has planned at us.
It's fine. There we go. There we go.
Okay. Yeah. It starts to kind of calm down. It still is not trusting, really,
Mhm.
but it's calm and it's no longer attempting to sprint away while dragging its brother slash friend's corpse,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mhm.
well,
Unconscious
unconscious
body.
body.
Yeah. When it calms down, Ioni is going to sit down in front of it and just start meditating.
While Leone does that,
Okay.
Thorin wants to give the puppy a meat stick.
Okay. You give it a meat stick.
Do you have a meat stick?
I mean, I have ration packs. Don't the
Yeah.
ration packs have little meat sticks
That
in them?
probably has meat.
Yeah, it depends on who issued it, but yeah.
So, yeah, roll me a survival check, Thorin, against 3 purples, but you will get 2 boosts.
0 success, 5 advantage.
Wow.
That is a roll.
Advantage bot.
Yeah.
It eats the stick. What do you want to use the advantage on? Any thoughts?
Can I actually pass? Okay, when it eats the stick, does it warm up to me at all?
Not really. If you want, you could spend that 5 advantage and just say that, like, the next time you give it food or something, it gives you more bonuses.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Do I just get, how many blues would I get on my next time I want to try to?
You would get 3 extra, so a total of 5, because you're also feeding it.
Okay, so then this time what Thorin would like to do is feed it another meat stick, but he also wants to pet the gigantic horse-sized wolf.
Okay. You will roll your check, and then I will tell you how petting it goes.
Okay.
So 5 boosts instead of the 2. Same check
Okay.
otherwise.
2 success, 1
God.
threat, and a triumph.
Oh my
Dude.
god.
Oh my god.
That
those
is
3
the
blues were
opposite check.
worthless.
That is the opposite check.
So many empty
really is.
dice.
For 1 threat, it nips your hand while it's taking the food. So you're going to take 2 wounds.
Can I spend the triumph for it to narratively?
I'm just going to send you the stats for the wolf.
Yay, I got a space dog!
Mhm.
This is what it's all about.
Does Ioni have survival? Did I get that from, or is that a peacekeeper, or is that a war leader thing?
Thank you, Knight.
No, I think survival's a war
The wounds
leader
are not
thing.
accurate because it technically should be at 0 right now, but there you go.
So, okay, is this thing now tamed, or...
Yeah, what do you want to name it?
I actually have a name in mind. I will say in a moment, but for the time being, Thorin begins to let his puppy go.
Mm-hmm. Ioni will.
Thorin names his wolf Jorik.
Jorik.
Okay.
Yep. Seeing that, Ioni is just going to carefully drag her
All right.
unconscious wolf.
Reload the thing. He's named. Okay.
Let's go!
Okay. Go back to the ship, or where are you dragging the dog?
Yeah.
Well, here's a question before we do that. How late is it? Is it like night at this point?
The 3 suns are setting over the horizon.
Okay. We probably don't want to trek at night.
We got here relatively
Yes.
fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not that terribly far away from the ship. In fact, you
Okay.
can see it.
Yeah.
because the blizzard's ended.
Mhm.
Okay.
Off to the ship.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes,
I would
agree.
like to try and make an attempt to. Actually, what do I have on me? Do I still have that last stim? I do. I'm gonna use that last stim.
Not
As
a
you
bad
pull
idea.
it out to use it, Ioni will grab your wrist and say, "Let me do it." And I'll take the stem from you and hit it in a more proper place than
Yeah,
just your
he'll
leg.
hesitate a bit, but he'll let you.
Mhm. I'm a much better medic than I was 3 hours ago.
Yeah. So
Remember,
let's
it's
see.
old
That was
training, I guess.
how many wounds does it heal with you?
It would be 6's base.
Okay. Used one earlier. That was 2 sessions ago.
It was 2 sessions ago, but
But
it
still
was
today.
still still today. So
Yeah, so that's 5. Which is still better than I would have done by 1.
Mhm. Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Cryonic is just supremely confounded and slightly impressed at what he has just seen.
Yeah. You walk into a party of bumblefucks.
Wonderful.
Excuse me. That's 2 bumblefucks and a bumble and a I don't know. You lost the joke.
No,
I'll have
it's
you know
3
I'm a
bumblefucks.
professional bumblefuck, actually, and I will
So
be
he
referred
counts
to
for
as
2?
such.
Okay, so you ran into a group of 4 bumblefucks, including you.
I mean, I have bumbled. I do not believe that I have fucked as of yet.
We'll see
Thorin
about
looks
that.
over.
That's a skill issue. Anyway, you return to the Dusk's daughter. You find it, surprisingly enough, still here.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yep. Dragging
Model
the
ship
wolf
was
on
this?
board.
Yep.
What model ship is this?
It's a raider.
It
No,
is
it's
it,
That was a raider.
assassin. It's an assassin 4.
no, it is an interceptor.
Interceptor 4. That's what's called.
It is an interceptor 4, but that is only statistically. If you look at the ship, you do not recognize it unless you want
Okay.
to make a 5 difficulty outer rim.
Outer rim.
Yeah, outer rim knowledge check.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to get that. Cool. Unfamiliar looking ship. Beans.
It is also very big. It is silhouette 5. No, 4.
How many people?
So
Does-
the way it roughly works is that each silhouette is 2 times the last one.
That's large.
It
Cryonic?
is the same size, or it's around the same size as an Architens. You know, the ship that Mando landed on to fight Gideon.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, it's about the same size as that.
Spoilers
Uh,
night. God damn.
God, for
Dude,
what?
that came out
season-
years ago. Fuck you.
Anyways, Cryonic will look at the ship and kind of narrow his eyes and look over to the other 3. How many people does your captain employ?
30 or so. And he's not really our captain, more as the person who captains the ship we were transported on.
So you're just passengers.
To a degree, we help out around the ship when we can. He's not exactly a passenger liner. This is not Ioni's voice. God damn it, I was getting into my Astartes voice.
Correct. We're
Yeah.
not playing Death Watch.
I'm not playing Deathwatch, no.
Anyway. So, you want to get on the ship? You want to stare at its very pretty hull?
Thorin is
I
going
get on
to
the
go
ship
to
and
his
out of
room.
cold.
Yep, getting on the ship.
Yeah, I suppose
Uh,
we get on the ship.
you enter the ship, and you see the crew kind of look a little surprised that you're there. Eventually, Sev comes down to meet you and says, "Ah, my friends, I did not expect you to come back, to be honest."
Ioni goes, well, it was either come back to the ship with these wolves, as she's gently lets go of hers, or trek who knows how many kilometers down to the township.
Well, I mean, if it was up to me, you wouldn't have a ship to come back to, but the weather had other plans.
What happened?
Well, you see, the fuel to get out of here, along with a number of other things, are completely frozen. Or, well, not completely frozen, but mostly frozen. Basically, we cannot burn out of the atmosphere.
And there's a solution to this problem.
Shrugs. I mean, could probably get something from the hut that's on world, but
We might
I don't
need.
like dealing with them, so I don't think that's what I'll be doing.
Thorin
Well,
looks at Sev and asks what he'll be doing if he has a plan yet.
I was thinking about just robbing the gun factories.
well, I'm sure that there's the huts here are a criminal cartel. I'm sure that if something is stolen from them, it's just fair game at that point. As long
He's
as they're
talking
not
about
caught.
the Imperial arms factories.
Well,
The huts are working in tandem with the Imperials, though.
Mm-hmm.
well,
Should-
before we can really make a raid on anything, we should gather information. No.
I was just gonna shoot it with the ship guns and then run in and grab stuff and then leave. But, sure.
The ship that you can't get into the air.
I can get it into the air, I just can't get it out of gravity. It's fine. Mostly. Moderately.
Sev, I would like to ask you, what are your calculated chances of actually being able to stay in the air for longer than 5 minutes?
I mean, like I said, she can fly just fine. It's a matter of getting out of the planet, gravity. So it's not really that big of a problem in orbit for now. Why?
I'm just. Sometimes I question your sanity. If I had the fuel for my ship was mostly frozen, I wouldn't attempt to take off.
I mean, we took it out. Just
So-
letting it thaw in some barrels.
Okay, well, there's that. So it's mostly just a waiting game.
Well, not entirely. There are some minor repairs we're gonna need before I can leave, because, as you can imagine, things freezing inside of reactors and engines does not really help.
And the cost for these replacements?
More than we have made so far. And by that I mean more than the 0 we have made so far.
So there are, as I see it, 2 options at the moment. Make a deal with the huts and trade for the parts. Steal the parts, as I do not think the Empire will be willing to buy back their own guns.
Yeah. I realize that part.
Cryonic will clear his throat. Get their attention.
Yes,
I-
another stowaway. What do you need?
One that has an inn with the huts, should it be required. Buying and selling, or even working part-time for the huts, get enough credits for what we need, and then we steal your guns and we're off the planet. After repairs, of course.
Well, I mean, I ferried you all here, and now I'm gonna have to ferry you all off. So, since you're miraculously alive, I'm just gonna say that this is also your problem now, and you have to get the money to fix my ship.
I.e., you're the adventuring party, you do the shit, and I'm just going to sit here like an asshole NPC.
Yeah, because he's actually an asshole.
Yeah.
Quest giver!
Alright,
I mean, after all, it's the least you could do for all the trouble I went through of flying here and forcing you to be armed terrorists.
Thorin looks at the captain and says, "Captain, you didn't have to force me to do a thing."
We may have raided what was it, an Architens?
Yeah,
On an
Imperial.
imperial
like these
controlled planet.
Nah, it's
Um,
fine. I took their drive, so they're gonna
Zath
starve
is
before they get
just
to the nearest Imperial outpost. And he tracks a
pinching the bridge
very,
of his nose as this goes on.
It wasn't the.
Panic will mimic that motion.
Iani just rubs the back of her head. It's like, you know, all things considered, it's not the worst thing I've seen a criminal do.
Thorin nods in agreement with Ione.
Well, since you're awfully split about it, it seems you've come to a consensus. Where are you going?
Well, before we can make any decisions, we should see what the situation down in the town is. And Ioni will look to Krennic and says, unless you have insights about it, or did you just go to the town and immediately trek up the mountain in the middle of a blizzard?
Mr. GM, man, I've been here for a couple of months, working on and off for the huts. What do I know about this place?
So, the planet is technically owned by the Huts. The Huts have granted the Imperials kind of a a deal, I guess, where the they're allowing the Imperials to host their weapons factories on world. In
Mhm.
return, the Huts get some of the weapons that are produced. Um, it's kind of under the table that they get the weapons and stuff, because obviously the high command of the Empire would not be happy with it, but the lower ranking people that made this deal don't really care. So
Mm.
the workers here are all various aliens that have been taken by the Empire, taken past their borders where slavery is technically legal, and enslaved to make the weapons. Which is why this place is so profitable to them.
Wait, the
Trying it.
population's been enslaved?
Yeah, most of them. The Huts are basically the enforcers. The Empire doesn't have a huge presence out here, so the Hut mercenaries that are here, including you, would have actually been used as a way to keep the slaves in line, more or less.
Fun. Cryonic will relay this information to the party, but he will keep back the fact that he was at least partially in charge of the slave operations.
If it makes you feel any better,
Marginally.
they would not have told you that's what you were doing until you were brought here.
Okay.
The Huts, that is. So you might have just gotten here thinking you were going to do mercenary work, and then we're kind of forced to do that and not happy.
Yeah,
about
he's still gonna keep that back fact, or that fact back.
Understandable. I'm just telling you, so it doesn't like change anything about your character.
Cool.
No, he willingly enslaved all the aliens.
So true.
Yeah.
Cryonic actually personally enslaved all of them.
Yeah, he went
Cryonic
around
is the
every
hut.
planet. No, Cryonic's not the hut. He's Salacious B. Crumb sitting in his lap.
Just
Well, upon
laughing
hearing this,
hysterically.
He's got
Thorin
that
simply
goofy little laugh.
says, "Well, if we don't wish to ruffle any feathers, sounds like the huts are going to be our new employers."
We'll see. The politics might be a little more complex than Krennic knows of. If my experience is anything to go by, people forcefully enslaved and not born into it very much resent being enslaved. And when they're in charge of making weapons, it's fairly easy to smuggle them. A misquoted there. A dropped crate there. Very simple.
And a couple of routine beatings for said slaves there.
But if we wish to investigate further, the town is our best place to go.
Agreed.
There are.
Alrighty.
But
God,
before leaving, Thorin would really like to rest.
Yeah, that is fair.
Yeah.
And it's getting dark, so we should probably sleep
Yeah.
here on the ship and then go.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, you may all sleep on the ship, recover the appropriate amount of wounds and strain.
I believe
Uh,
that's one and all, respectively.
Yeah, one and all. Unless you have something that heals multiple wounds for some
No.
reason. That being said, when we wake up, I will do medical checks on everyone before we head out.
Okay.
Are we? So we're supposed to be at 0 strain now?
Yes,
Yes.
Zero
Yes.
strain. You full heal strain. But yeah.
This will be
Close.
for Zath first. Alright, fully healed.
So, you begin to, in the morning, obviously do your rolls, Sirach, but in the morning you head over to the Imperial Refinery, or, well, factory, I guess, is more appropriate. You find something that looks along the lines of this. Obviously, it's not in a foresty area. It's, granted, it is slightly warmer than the mountains in which you were the night before, but it is still a generally snow-covered planet. But you find a large Imperial kind of standardized factory along those lines. There are quite a lot of them, actually. Take that building and multiply it by, like, I don't know, 20, 30, and you will have the number of factories that are there. At the back, where it begins to stop being this, like, snowy plains and turn into mountainous area again, like you were in last night, is a large, well, hut-looking palace.
To the palace? Question mark.
Palace or
Um,
the town. Those are your two options, basically. There's
Okay,
nothing
I say
let's go to the town first, see if there's like a local
Yeah.
cantina, see if we can dig up any rumors.
Did you
Would
heal me,
Cryonic-
Ione, or no?
No.
Oh.
What did you say?
remove 2 wounds.
So,
Oh yeah,
You
I did
had-
heal you. I thought you said did.
Fucking goober.
I
I thought you
thought
were just being a dick.
no, I thought he said, "Did you hear me?"
Oh.
No, heal.
Heal. I did. You
So-
heal 2 wounds.
you get to the town, and you find that kind of in the middle of all of the factories is this really kind of shitty, rundown, slums-looking area. And then there is a small walled-in, like, it almost looks like a small imperial fort section that has a lot nicer areas. They're still not great. Still, like, clearly an outer rim, still clearly an outer rim kind of like seedy colony, but there is remnants of what was here when the Republic was around, and that's what you see That's what you see walled off.
Mm.
Which, Cryonic,
Yes.
you would know all of the enforcers and such that are hired by the Hutts live in the walled-in area. All the slaves, do not.
Writing that down.
I can't wait till one of the enforcers walks by us and says, "Hey, Cryonic, beat any slaves up lately?"
Cryonic will point or will motion towards the walled off section. Those that are more permanently employed by the Hutts reside within those walls. Enforcers and the like.
Well, let's not get on the bad side, shall we?
To a cantina. I suppose Cryonic probably knows of some cantinas within the area, both in and outside of the what we'll call Enforcer District. Which would be better to hear rumors, do you think?
Streetwise.
It would be Streetwise.
Well, in terms of like
Oh,
the fucking
cantina.
which cantina to go to?
There is one cantina.
Oh, there is a singular cantina. Cool. Cryonic will lead the group to the singular cantina. Cryonic has almost definitely been in here before.
You walk in and you see a number of enforcers and such for the Hutts kind of look up and look over at you entering in. This unwary, or this wary silence sets in. Even the bartender kind of stops what he's doing to look at you. And one of them looks at Cryonic and goes, "Huh, I thought you were heading to them mountains."
It would seem I have unfortunately survived.
Ah, well, that's a damn shame. I was hoping for a raise.
How unfortunate for you. And he will walk to the bar.
This is the
Anybody
point
else?
where I realized I never actually rolled my pocket change.
Thorin does walk into the cantina, and he goes right up to the bartender, and Thorin wants to get drunk.
Yep. Zath will come in as well. Try and keep his head down, much as he can.
All right.
Ioni will go up to the bar and ask what's up around the town.
Well, our little town here is a slave colony, so profits are what's up.
Man, how I miss Taurus and the ability just to go make money by beating people up in a ring.
I mean, hey, maybe the hut wants entertainment.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a.
Ioni crosses her fingers as she says, "I'll have an ale. Is there
You
anything?"
got credits for that?
And he'll. How much?
Oh, we're on a frozen hellhole, so it's 5 credits an ale.
Yeah, she'll pull out a credit chit and put it on the table. There you go.
All right. Deduct 5 credits, and you get an ale.
Can Thorin listen in at the bar about anyone talking nearby, about any potential work that's to be had? I know it's mostly Hut enforcers that go here, but even they have to have some idea of what's going on.
Make a streetwise check.
Could I also make that?
What difficulty is it?
That would be average for whoever wants to do it.
One success.
What I would
Great
like to
success and
do is
threat.
just, while they're all doing that, I'd like to kind of keep an eye on what everyone else in the tavern is doing. Make sure there's no one who's eyeing the group a little bit too intently.
Average,
Oof.
perception or vigilance, your choice.
Okay.
Everyone who got threats takes strain. For the streetwise checks, those of you succeeded, find out that the crime lord, the local crime lord, is looking for more hired muscle, as currently, the enforcers are not doing their jobs well enough, and a lot of them are kind of grumbling about it because he threatened to stop paying them. Basically, after watching an Architens explode, or well, get shot at, lose the battle, get raided, and then proceed to leave system, the slaves are kind of uppity because they know the Imperials are no longer there to back up the huts right now, and some of them are even refusing to work and have formed a gang and begun arming
Oh.
themselves.
Yo.
You mean like what Eoni theorized?
Orin shakes his head and simply says, "More union busting work."
Eoni says this because I feel that through I check. I don't hear much about it. Says this. Is there any way to make money for someone who's stuck on this planet because of the ice?
No, we got it handled.
Alright, and she'll take the air and move over to the group.
What does Zath see?
Yeah.
So, a lot of them are very wary of you all, except for Cry. They seem fine with Cry. But they're wary of the rest of you because they know you're not hut employed enforcers.
They're even worried about Thorin.
Yeah. There are not many enforcers here. Like probably half the enforcers that are hired by the huts are right here in the bar, and there's like 6 of them in here.
So, what's the news around town?
There's a slave gang. One that's starting to collect weapons.
So
We want to cause a lot of noise, so our dealings aren't so in focus. Stoking that fire is likely the best way to do it.
I'd rather not have another crime lord put a bounty on me, she whispers, trying to keep her voice down. So, if we can disguise our movements, that would be great.
Best way to do that is either as hut muscle, they're looking for more. With your, let us say, escapade. And Cryonic talks very quietly anyways, but he's dropped his voice to, you know, we're talking secrets. Nobody is exactly happy.
Well, the way I see it, that's the case. What are the current enforcers' reactions to that?
Grumbling that they aren't getting paid more.
Well, from the sounds of it, there's two options that we have. Well, at least 2 main options. We can vary within those options as much as we want. We could help put down the gang and have gained the ire of the enforcers, or we can assist the gang and gain the ire of the enforcers and the huts if we get caught. Based on my past, and she makes a very big emphasis on I would rather not leave these people to be enslaved.
Thorin finally joins into the conversation, talking quietly, although I'm not going to whisper because my mic's gain is horrible, and simply says, "So you wish to rouse the rabble, who's already about to go into a gunfight, and piss off the Imperials more. They might have taken out their cruiser, but there's probably still a garrison."
If a war in the streets were to break out between the gang and the Huts, I think the Imperials would be more inclined to stay out of it than you would think.
Nate, didn't you say the Imperials are using this slave labor?
Kind of.
Yeah.
So they're doing it a roundabout way. Slavery is not actually legal in the Empire. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But this is a planet owned by the Huts,
So
and
they're
therefore
using.
not the Empire. So they have cut a deal with the Huts to let them use slave labor in return for handing off guns.
Making enough noise would bring the attention and ire of the Empire, considering the fact that slavery is not legal. The Imperials are more than likely to stay out of it.
Not to mention is that if they join in the fight and it happens to go against the Huts, they have no way off this planet. Eventually their supplies will run out. And by weakening the Huts, and thereby weakening the Imperials, we make it easy for our captain to enact his plan.
Disguise our operation as a rebel operation. We get off scot-free.
Thorin just puts his hands up and says, "I'm looking to get paid and get off this snow rock. Simply put, I think helping the slaves isn't profitable."
Well, it depends on when you want your profit. Yes, we could get paid by the Huts, but we then strengthen their position, and stealing the weapons means that we don't get a greater profit later. Short-term gains against long-term.
Long-term gains bring the might of 20 Imperial refineries down on you.
If we are unintelligent about it, yes. But we're not the only three involved in this, and I will look to Zath. What say you?
I don't like the idea of working for the Huts. They've never struck me as someone who would honor any kind of deal. Not if there wasn't something in it for them.
Never has a truer word been spoken.
I will pat Thorin on the shoulder and I'll say, don't worry. Sometimes being the good guy pays better than being the bad guy.
Thorin grumpily says that has never been the case in the history of this entire galaxy.
We still need enough money to get ship parts.
Yes. Well, always steal the ship parts. And if the Huts are getting weapons from the weapons factories, they're not likely to buy our weapons for a decent price. So, I would think our best bet for the moment is to put our heads together and figure out where this gang is. I see two ways of doing it. How about what do you also have to say?
From Wormst, I have been on the planet. Can I have any like general ideas as to maybe where this gang has gathered, or
You have no idea because they formed after you left.
while I was gone? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know of any places that would be like a possibility. Like, oh, there's this abandoned railroad track that nobody goes to anymore. That might be a place to start. I don't know.
There are a lot of slums to look through. That's why the enforcers haven't really done anything. There's a lot of slums to walk through, and there's a lot of fucking factories, more factories than there are actual enforcers.
Mm.
Oh, just for the sake of posterity and saying that I've done it, I would have, while we were sleeping last night, I would have liked to put my crystal into my lightsaber hilt.
Yeah, if anybody else has lightsabers they wish to put crystals in, you may do so.
No.
No.
You can also roll to mod them if you want, but that is up to you.
I will. I would. I'll do that after session.
Do not have the money to do so.
Uh-huh.
There are not. You said there are not enough enforcers for all of the factories, correct?
Mhm.
Does that mean these factories are just essentially running without foremen, or are they shut down?
There are foremen among the slaves, basically, that are given more privileges and like are allowed to come into the walled area for their service. But for the most part, the enforcers just kind of walk around, and if they see somebody doing something they're not supposed to do, they either kill them or beat the fuck out of them. And then they die
Cool.
because there's no real doctors for the slaves.
Cool.
Yeah, this is not a nice place.
Cryonic will make that information known to the party as well. I'm gonna keep it $150 with y'all. Fuck to do next. Because my immediate thought goes to if we can still, for lack of a better term, play both sides. If we want to go to the huts, get hired, and be in charge of one of the factories, start a revolt there. That'd be pretty easy. Just fuck over the foreman and the enforcers there, and be like, "Yo, you're free now. These guns are yours."
Well, I think possibly trying to find the slave
whatever.
leaders would actually be more in our best efforts as well.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
just don't. We just don't know where to start, and that's the thing.
Well, I mean, okay, listen, I'm a bold man. Cryonic already was an enforcer for these people. What's stopping us from going to the hut, taking a contract to go eliminate them, get half paid up front, and then go help the rebels anyways?
That is essentially what I had just suggested.
Yeah. I mean, it would definitely.
I mean, I just want to make sure you temper your expectations because, negotiating with a hut is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, therein
That's fair.
lies the one issue.
That is all I am going to say.
Are there any bounty boards in the cantina?
No, not really any
No.
bounties out here. No bounty hunting guild either. Like everybody here are pretty much bounty hunters or directly working for the hut themselves, and they're hired here to stay here for a long time, so they don't want them seeing a big bounty and wandering off.
That's fair.
I do think that our best move is get quote unquote hired by the hut, get into one of the find out whoever this leader of the revolt is, likely through the grapevine of those slaves that are there. And fuck it up. I don't know.
Well, then, if we're gonna get to searching, we should probably do it sooner rather than later. So, if that's what the group wants to do, Thorn is willing to hit the road and search.
As is Zaph.
I think Rec left. So
What?
I think that's probably our best course of action because I'm trying to think about this both in character and mechanically. I don't think that there's another way to do this other than just going down every single alleyway and looking.
Hey, Thorn put his hand in every single hand slot, and that worked.
Well, what we should probably do is find one of the is look for someone that seems a little more intense than the average slave, and then ask.
I want to remind you that you all are still
Yep.
the cantina. If you'd like to search, there are checks you can make and things you can do. You just have not tried them yet.
I would like to go search then. What would you like me to roll? If I'm simply patrolling the streets trying to listen for enforcer chatter or slave chatter.
You are going to have to make a streetwise check at 2 reds and 2 purples.
Ow.
Oof.
You are a gang, and you are patrolling just like the other enforcers do. Good luck.
Okay, hold on. You said there's a walled-in enforcer area. How many enforcers are there?
There's quite a few. Like I said, there were like 6 in there, and that's probably half of them. There's like 12. It's not a big area, but there was clearly a colony here before the Empire built its factories, and the majority of it has kind of fallen into disrepair. But most of the enforcers have just kind of taken up a random house and been like, "Yep, this is mine now."
Honestly then, can Thorin walk around and try to actually find a group of slaves that are kind of on their own? And because I'm an enforcer, I should be able to talk to them just fine, right? Well, not just fine, but... Do I have any change to my check at all?
Repeat what you said you were gonna do again?
I'm attempting to basically flag down some of the slaves because you said I'm walking, talking, and they think I'm an enforcer. So my goal is to just get them not isolated away from the earshot of other enforcers.
You can make an intimidation or coercion check of 2 purples.
I'm gonna try that.
Okay.
1 success, 2 threat.
You are going to... I will consume the threats for another thing. And you get this slave to follow you into the corner, away from the enforcers and the other slaves, and he kind of looks at you, kind of scared. And he's trying to kind of like turn away from you and like try to see if he can still kind of get away.
Okay. Thorin goes into his wilderness survival kit and offers over a ration bar and a drink of water from his canteen.
He looks at it, looks up at you, looks at it, looks up at you, and backs away further.
Thorin looks at him and goes, "You can eat and drink, and get paid for your time, if you answer one question for me."
What do you want to know?
Thorin motions to his outfit and says, "I just landed on this planet in the outskirts in the middle of nowhere. I hear that things aren't exactly proper on this planet, and there's someone who's leading you, people in your situation, to resist these conditions. I'm curious if you have any idea of who I'm talking about."
Roll me another coercion check. This time it will be against 2 reds.
Am I able to pull out credits for this? Oh, actually, no, they're slaves. They probably can't even buy anything.
They cannot. It does
Huh.
not help them.
Alright. 3 advantages and a despair.
He looks at you, and I'm going to consume the despair and the advantages on this. He pulls out a shiv, and he tries to stab you, so he'll roll to attack, and then he's gonna run away.
It'd be really funny if he actually got through.
Do you have melee?
I have 1 melee defense.
Does not.
5 advantage though.
Then he starts running away.
Can I use my athletics in order to try to catch him and tackle him?
Yeah, it would start a chase scene.
I don't know how that works.
So,
It's you just roll
He does
athletics.
athletics, and you do athletics, or
Oh, okay.
coordination. You can do either.
do
Whoever gets
athletics.
more successes is the one
Yeah.
going faster.
Yeah. You have to reach engaged with him to end the chase.
Well, aren't we currently engaged?
No.
No, well, he's running and starting the chasing. The
Oh.
chasing usually starts at medium.
He is going slightly faster than you because he succeeds off advantages.
Yep.
He does not gain any distance on you, but he's starting to kind of like he has definitely seen hard labor given his factory worker status, and it's clear he is going to tire out after you.
Okay.
You want to inform any of the party of what you're doing.
Yeah, Thorin talks into his comlink and informs them that he's trying to get information, although it's not going very well, and that he needs someone to try to head him off.
God damn it.
What are you attempting to do?
Thorin, between breaths of sprinting, says, "I gave him food and water."
He didn't take either.
That's
Yeah.
not my fucking problem.
That's
that's
not his
his.
fault.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
You
Yep.
are a fool to the utmost degree.
Yep. Ione
Well-
just
Well,
shakes
they're all
her head and says, "It's all right. I'll try and cut him off." And she starts running.
While they're all doing this, can I try and... I want to try and just, like, blend in with the crowd, just... Because Zath knows city streets well. That's kind of his expertise. Can I try and... I guess it would be streetwise to sort of find my way to where the, I guess it would be like just like where the slaves would be. I was trying to think of a better way to say it, but just where they would hang out and congregate. While they're all doing that and chasing this poor fellow.
Don't worry, I have a plan.
Cryonic isn't gonna join the chase, and he sticks out a bit too much to be blending in with the masses as Zath is attempting to do. So he is. He's just gonna stay in the cantina and get a whiskey. I don't know.
Okay. Yoni, you can join the chase. We are going to do athletics again.
You wanna
Damn.
pass me some boosts?
Yeah, I pass Ione my boosts.
Here we go. There we go. The boost did nothing.
No, they did not, but
Moral support.
you're starting to catch up. So you come out of an alleyway a little bit closer to you. Eric closer to him, and he like turns around for a second, sees you, and continues running further into the slums.
Seeing that, Ione is going to divert off on a parallel path to try and catch him in a cross section.
All right, time for the next check.
I pass a boost to Ione.
There we go.
All right, Ione, you are able to catch him.
Yep, Ione is going to catch him in a cross section. I'm going to spend the 2 advantage to say that it happens when Thorin doesn't see it. As I basically tackle him into like probably like a tent or a shanty thing of some sort. As I cover his mouth and I say, "Shh, I'm not going to hurt you."
Ione.
Yep.
You hear the clicks of blasters.
Mm-hmm.
And you look up, and you see a bunch of slaves with blasters aimed at you.
Ione is going to put a finger over her mouth as she slowly lets go of the man and says, "I'm not here to fight you. And if I have to, I'll make a charm check using those Zeltron pheromones."
Sure. It'll be a 2 red charm check.
Alright.
So Thorin has no idea where this is happening.
Because
What?
Ione spent the advantage to make you not see it. Correct.
Cool. Thorin runs past the building.
There's a little tent that they dove into.
Well,
You
the
just
tent,
sprint
whatever.
on past.
Yep.
Yep.
You're like, damn it, where did that guy go?
Yeah.
Okay. Oof.
Ione, you are going to take 3 strain.
Yep.
As most of them begin to lower their weapons. A couple still keep them raised, but eventually they all lower their weapons.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing here?
Looking for the rebellious slaves. Well, I guess freedom-seeking slaves, I should say.
And why are you doing that?
Well, I'm not a Hut enforcer, and I heard about your predicament, and I thought that I might be able to help you.
You're not a Hut enforcer. You just chased one of us through the streets. For what reason?
To find you.
Well, you found us. Or well, me. And that, before I give you anything on this dude, because I'd like to try to keep the party relatively together. I'm going to dash on over to Zath and Slash or Crying. You guys, heard the call and all that. What do you wish to do?
Zath is gonna let 2 of them handle that because that's not the way you find a group like this.
Unless by sheer stupid luck.
Unless by sheer stupid luck,
Yeah.
yes. But everything he's ever learned tells him that is not what he should be doing. So, what I would like to try and do is just I think I'd need to make like a streetwise check. But I'd like to try and find their like what would be the area that the most of the slaves hang out. Like what's because there's the area for the enforcers. There's also an area they're not going to go, either because they know they're outnumbered or because it's just not high enough class for them. Look, that's the area I'm looking for.
Okay. Uh. hmm. What type of check are you wanting to make here?
I think the most appropriate one is streetwise, truthfully.
Okay. If it's the most appropriate, do you do you think that's what you want to use, or are you gonna argue for something else?
I would like to see if I can argue for vigilance, since I've been sort of keeping an eye on everything since we got here.
All right. I will let you use vigilance. I will say. hmm, What exactly are you looking for again? Because the difficulty.
I'm
I feel like
looking for like there's different sections of any town. I'm looking for the section that is like the slaves. This is their section of town.
like
I want to try and
that's kind of
find
the thing. Their whole section of town is just the slums.
yeah.
All of the slums.
I'm
They're
I'm trying
very
to figure
obvious.
out I'm trying to figure out
That's,
the part where the mercenaries don't like going, where they're kind of free to
they
congregate
don't
as they
they
will.
don't like going into the slums.
Okay.
Like I don't know what else to tell you. I'm
And
sorry.
The
what's like
hot
the
spots, I
yeah,
guess.
essentially. That's what I'm looking for.
All right. No, that's fair enough. That is going to be a 2 red, 2 purple check.
Two red, two purple?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to flip if that's okay.
Go ahead.
No, it's illegal. No, I don't.
Right. Not a bad check overall.
Alrighty. You'll take a strain as you get some looks and such. But you end up finding these string of tents that they smell very bad, to be honest with you. Um, there is a definite there's a reek of dead, sick, and wounded. Um, it's definitely an area where the slaves who are hurt or beat or what have you are brought, and it seems due to you know the way the area is, the the enforcers from the huts don't really like coming around there, as you might imagine.
Mm-hmm. So, who seems to be like the person in charge? Like, I know there's not necessarily someone who's in charge, but anytime there's an area like this, there is someone who everybody looks to. That's who I'm looking for.
I'm sorry that I know you just started to get to do things, but I'm going to have to pause you there,
Mm-hmm.
because who you're looking for is kind of already where Rec is. So you'll catch up to him in a second.
Okay. Yeah, no,
Um,
that's fine.
so Cryonic,
Mm.
are you just still vibing in the bar? Or?
Uh, at the cantina, at this point, Cryonic has probably gotten himself a whiskey. And he is listening in to the chatter of the enforcers that are there, and maybe asking some carefully worded, uh, pointed questions as to what's up with this, what's up with these new slave guys. Do you have any word of where like who might be a leader or where a leader might be situated, or is there keeping his ear to the ground on that sort of stuff to see what information he can get?
enough. This will be another streetwise check.
Streetwise, okay.
It is easier because you technically are an enforcer. So it will be just 2 purples.
Okay.
You will get a setback because they don't. It's very clear they don't know anything. Otherwise, they don't know much. Otherwise, they probably would have already taken basically the bounty for
Yeah.
themselves.
Brianic is trying to rumor monger more than anything else. See what may be true, what may not be true. Just any sort of information at all to see if he can piece together the puzzle. Yeah. So, average with a setback, correct?
Yep.
All right. Nice. 2 success and 2 threats.
Alrighty. So, as is standard, you will take good old 2 strain. So you're able to you get a couple of them to talk, but in general, they're not really very responsive to you because they just don't really know much. So you are able to get a couple of them to tell you kind of what they think, which is vast majority of the enforcers are under the idea that this has been a long time coming because the hut who you actually you know the name of
Mhm.
hut he is by the name of Bamus, Hut Bamus, or Bamus the Hut, I guess, um, is kind of a cheapskate. And even though he's upholding his end of the bargain with the Empire, he has done everything he can to cut down on the amount of enforcers here. Um, so basically, a lot of them are thinking that because he has not hired that many enforcers, this was going to happen anyway, and the whole the fight out in space that you were able to see from orbit or from the ground because it was in kind of low orbit, just kind of kicked it off. So a lot of them think that they're probably hiding in maybe one of the farther out factories or somewhere in the slums. They're not really sure.
Okay. Cool. After learning
Uh,
about that.
you are also informed that uh, 3 enforcers have gone missing recently. Um, and so that is why the hut has, and by recently I mean within the last day. So they're really gearing up for something, and that is why the hut has put out a bounty on specifically. Because if they had not started killing enforcers, he wouldn't really care, evidently.
Okay. After hearing of that information, Kryanic is going to finish his whiskey, leave the cantina. He's going to there's nothing else really for him to do. He will venture into the slums outside of the enforcer walls. And he will just begin to wander in a direction. I don't know, where's the force pulling me?
Do you have sense?
No, I don't. I'm joking. Uh, uh, I suppose he's just gonna walk through the slums, probably to a more outside point within the slums, because that's, if people are gonna gather, they're going to want to gather as far away from enforcers as possible. Um, and he'll call the others. Have you found anything yet?
Thorin's still running.
About what time would that be going off? Like, where am I around the time I get that comm?
Probably walking through the wounded area of the slums.
In that case, Zeth will respond back to it. This is probably not gonna help Ioni at all.
Oh yeah, Ione, you are not allowed to respond back for
Yeah.
obvious reasons.
Yeah, so this is probably just being broadcast to everyone around there.
God damn it, my mic was muted. I don't have a comm link.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Even funnier.
Beautiful.
so yeah, then Zeth will just respond back. Maybe. I'll check back in a bit.
Yeah,
I can join you.
Not right now.
yeah.
Nobody likes to tell me things. I suppose Cry is just gonna keep walking because there's not much else he can do at this point. Because any streetwise checks I'm gonna make here are gonna have hella setbacks because
Was enforcer.
tall man with 2 swords, uh, who is an enforcer in the slums where all of the people he was enforcing are hanging out, probably not gonna say a lot when they're around him, other than maybe spitting and throwing rocks at him. Who fucking knows?
Yeah, it will not end well. So fair enough. Then we will at last come back to Thoran. Ioni's gone. The dude you are chasing is gone, and you are getting bad looks from everyone.
Yeah. Am I able to use my sense power to figure out exactly everyone who's around me within short range? I don't know exactly how to spend those.
So you would roll a force die, and then you could sense how many people are around you. You don't know who. You don't know
Yeah, it's just so it says I sense all
anything
living
else,
things.
really. Yeah.
Okay, I rolled a light side.
You can rock it for free then, because you're
Yep.
technically a light sider. For now.
For now.
So there are people around you. They seem to be gathered around you very heavily because you look like an enforcer and they don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Thorn doesn't know what he's doing either. His lead just vanished. So. Yeah, no. I got nothing.
It would have been really funny if blaster fire started going off as he only jumped out of a tent after you ran past. But
Yeah.
alas, we did not get that scene.
No, we did not. So Thorn is basically just going to continue to walk around.
If you want, you
East
can
Slum
make
District.
me a perception check against Zath's stealth if he's trying to sneak away from you, or you could just auto-succeed if he's not. To see if you see him, because he is actually quite close to you.
Yeah, he's not especially trying to be stealthy.
So then you can
Although,
just see Zath standing over there.
yeah, although Thorin is not gonna help his situation.
Not particularly.
Absolutely. Oh boy. But no, he's not trying to hide right now.
Does it look like Zath is doing something else?
It looks like he has a purpose. He knows
Cool.
what he's
We
doing.
gotta finish the rest of the belt.
Cool, awesome. Can I assume as Thorin that whatever he's doing I would likely not help with all the dirty looks I'm getting?
Probably.
Cool. Thorin yells at Zath to get back to work, and it looks like he's slacking. And then continues to patrol the slum.
Oh god. We're gonna get jumped.
I don't think Zath even realizes that's directed at him.
He
Okay.
only does it to Zath, though.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So you slap him upside the head like Gibbs?
So, only two who find them are Zath and Ione. So Zath, you think, oh, this is the head healing tent over here. Clearly, this is where someone that would lead this like rebellion would be at, right? And you want to walk in?
He's not just gonna walk in unannounced. That's not a good idea. The best idea would be to if he's figured that out, then he would like to find someone who's kind of out and about doing things, but looks like they have some measure of authority. And try and talk to them first. If you just walk into the boss's tent, that's not a good idea.
There it is.
Does he hear Ione talking?
That's a good question.
Roll a perception check.
Okay. What difficulty?
It will be average. I mean, it's just a tent.
Nope.
Ow.
Dude, your rolls are so fucking bad.
They really have
Like,
been. They really have been.
Yeah, you didn't hear anything. There sounds like there's people talking inside, but like, doesn't nobody you reckon.
Yeah, he's gonna go and do exactly what I said he's gonna do. He's gonna try and find someone who, not necessarily in charge of everything, but looks like they're at least a figure of authority who's actually out and about and not hiding in a tent.
Roll perception again, I guess.
Okay.
It will be 2 reds and 2 purples.
Of joy.
Because the people who are in positions of authority aren't really wanting to be found.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if there's people going around and actually healing, I want to, like actually
people
tending to
just
the
like
sick.
playing doctor.
That is
Yeah.
happening in the tents. There are people going in and out of the tents.
Okay. Okay.
And you cannot see what's happening inside, so...
Well,
Time to walk in.
yeah. That's a no. I don't notice anybody.
You are left with one option.
Yeah, you say that.
You see, just be like me. Let your pride coast you through everything.
That's not who Seth is.
It's
At
definitely who Oni is. She has gotten this
that's
far on
definitely-
pure
that's-
confidence.
Let's go back to Ione for a bit while Zath is trying to figure something else out here.
Alrighty. Who wants to go next?
Who wants to what?
Who wants to go next? Or are we just gonna loop back around to Ione and see what happens there? Hello.
I got nothing I can do.
Yeah. God, there's a movie that What Happened to Ione reminds me of, but I can't remember which one it is. Oh, it's Indiana Jones when he walks into that tent full of Nazis.
Alrighty. Guess we're gonna do this. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
guess
you're gonna have a great time.
I know.
So, for you, or well, in front of you are a bunch of assorted alien races: Twi'leks, Brutas, Nikto, anything and everything that
Be a slave race.
the Empire could walk up to and be like, "You're not human," and yoink. seems to be leading them, as I have just revealed on the board, is a purple skin colored Twi'lek who steps forward with a stolen E11 still kind of raised at you. Says, "So, you were searching for the rebellion of slaves by chasing a random guy? Are you an idiot?"
No, my companion's the idiot. He, I assumed, was trying to force your friend into giving up the information, as he's, from what I've gathered since I've met him, he is not particularly a people person.
And you helped and tackled him into my tent. Why?
So that he wasn't tackled in the middle of the street and the enforcers would notice.
So you're not enforcers?
No, we are not. Well, I don't think my other companion is. I just met them.
What do you mean you don't? You either are or you are not. And she begins raising the blaster again.
Like, Ione just takes off her helmet and slowly puts it down. Look, I'm a Zeltron. We aren't particularly fond of the Empire. Granted, most of my people are pacifists, but I'm only.
You realize most of the enforcers were not human either, right?
Yeah, and most of them are not human either. But she's just trying to make a point that she's not a fan of the Empire, and Zeltrons are not a fan of the Hutts either. I was raised believing that all people deserve freedom, and that has not changed in all my years.
So give me one good reason I shouldn't just kill you.
Because if you shoot me right now, you're just revealing yourself. 2,
I mean, I could just stab you too. We have shivs.
yes, but I don't think you're gonna win the knife fight.
There are like 10 of us in here.
You're not
Are
going
you
to win
that
the knife fight.
confident? Whatever you say, but either way, you still haven't given me a reason. I don't think
2,
you can read something.
I have experience organizing people against crime lords.
And I should believe you. Why?
Because I have a winning smile?
That still isn't a good read.
It-
No.
I understand it's a lot of trust, but
Trust on a person who tackled one of my people through attack. None of your story makes any sense.
there's a lot that doesn't make sense when it comes to the things that I do. I just got onto this world today. I was not hired as an enforcer, and I was making sure that your compatriot here was not tackled in the middle of the street and then taken away by enforcers. Which is why I tackled him in here when my own companion could not see us. Everything I've done is to try and help you.
Okay, Rack.
Yes.
You realize that nothing you have said has fostered any amount of trust, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to get past this part. But it requires me to.
You're doing a wonderful job.
Are these two yelling in the tent yet?
No, we're not.
Okay.
Anyway, but Ioni's going to continue and says is, the person who brought me here wants to steal the weapons from the factories. Now, I don't think he particularly cares who gets in the way when that happens, but it will make things easier for him and therefore easier for me if the Hutts no longer have control of the factories and the Imperials stay out of the way. And the best way to achieve that is for you to take control of the factories.
She looks at you, thinks for a moment, says something in Twi'lek to some of her compatriots, who then relay it in a various number of different languages, and then says, "I don't believe you, and they are going to shoot you on sunsetting." Is there anything you would like to do to avoid the 10 individual people shooting you on sunsetting?
Hold up. Let me just check what I have in my inventory. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I'm just
fun,
going. No, I'm just going to. Once they start raising the blasters, she's gonna say is, "We'll come back to this," and dashes out of the tent.
No, it's gonna be initiative, big man.
Okay.
And I don't think you're gonna win it.
Okay.
Greg, you criticize me for poor decisions.
Well, I
My
wasn't
ally over
expecting
here is a
all of
people
you
person.
not to come into the tent. I just
You
did want
literally hid
Thorin
your
to come in the
action point.
tent.
Exactly.
I don't even know where the fuck
How
any
would
of y'all
all of us
are.
going into the tent help?
Why?
There are 10 individual people. I am just rolling off the same that person because they all have the same cool.
Oh wow.
My companion isn't much of a people person.
Rack, you make some very interesting decisions sometimes.
Interesting is a word for it.
Interesting is a word, but also is.
Roll your vigilance, I guess. Vigilance is your cool. I don't really care. It's
Okay.
not gonna matter.
It might.
No way you're gonna beat 3 successes, 2 advantages, and a triumph before at least one of them shoots you.
Also, a lot of
Fucking hell.
That is legitimately funny. Oh my god, hold on. I am screenshotting that initiative table. Holy
Yum.
fuck.
God.
It really shouldn't be 10 individual people that 10 individual
You
rivals, I
walked
should
into
say.
the leadership of the rebellion of slaves. That's what the despair was. That's what it was. That's where he started running. This dude was actually a
Yeah.
member of the rebellion. He started running back to the leader, right? You walked into the leader, like all of these people are rivals, and the head leader is a nemesis. Full disclosure, they, like you were. Yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, there's gonna be a lot of shots at you. They're at short. So first I will. It doesn't really matter, but I will take the leader first, who has an E11D. So this is not going to feel good.
Oh.
That is on stun setting. I think that knocks you out.
No.
It does not.
13. Oh, nope, it just does.
Then I don't have to go through any of the rest of the people and shoot on basic blaster rifles. Those are pretty fucking garbage. Anyway, you are knocked out. Do you have a comm link?
No, I don't.
How did you hear the call from earlier then?
Because Krennic has comlinks. Comlinks
Because
are handheld and
We were
speaker.
next to him.
No, okay.
Sorry, next to Ione.
Does Thorin
You-
hear the sound of a stun blast?
Make a hard perception check.
Would it be easier for me being very nearby?
It's still hard.
Okay.
Hard is 3, right?
Yep.
1 success, 1 advantage.
Okay.
You also should turn off
You-
initiative.
You
Yeah,
should
initiative
probably
is
turn
fine.
off
Sorry.
initiative.
I will also clear it.
Nope.
Thorin, you do hear the sound of a what sounds like a stun-setting blaster being fired.
Am I able to pinpoint where it came from?
It's behind you, back towards like this big tent that you had walked past earlier that smelled kind of bad.
Thorin returns back to that tent, kind of just stands outside of the flap, and he just kind of shakes his head as he stands right outside of it for a moment. I'm gonna let anyone else do anything they'd like to.
Anyone else? I mean, Zath, you do see Thorin walk over to this tent and stand out in front of it.
Zath is going to stay away because Thorin walking up to it, he doesn't think is going to go well.
Great.
He's going to stand out of the way.
I just like to think that Cryotic
He's,
found
he's close by. He's within short, but he's not going to walk up to him and actually... Getting between a gank and a tent that you assume to be of the person in charge of, well, a rebellion is not a smart decision.
Cool. So anyways, Thorin being outside of the tent flap is going to breathe deep. And are there any? There's no enforcers in the slums, right? I know you said they're not likely to come through here, but there are no enforcers around. Yes.
There's none. No.
Cool. Thorin walks up to the tent flap and simply clears throat and says, "I'm gonna be honest. Stun settings aren't normal for the huts. And from what I've heard, you're the people I need to see. You're going to see what I look like, and also want to put a stun round in me, but as a token of good faith, I'm willing to throw my grav generator and my brass knuckles under the door. I'm unarmed besides that." That's all I got. Do you want me to roll anything, or do I just actually just roll my stuff under before they say anything?
Roll charm. It's gonna be against. No, 4 reds and a purple.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
So me being completely honest here doesn't have any,
I'll give you a boost.
Alright. I'm gonna flip.
Meanwhile,
Understandable.
Cryotic is across the slums, just playing pie show with nice old
Yep.
man.
Zath is going to specifically calm Cryonic. You may want to get over here. I think that Thorin's about to die.
3 failures, 2 advantages, and 1 despair. Although, Thorin was honest, he does have his weapons on the ground.
Oh no.
Um,
Oh.
do you want to do with the true advantage? Do you have any ideas?
I don't think 2 advantage is enough to change a narrative thing.
Pitch it to me, and I'll tell you yes or no.
They don't immediately shoot me.
I mean, they weren't going to anyway. But,
honestly, with that advantage, I forget. Am I allowed to pass my stealth dice?
yeah, you can spend 1 to recover a strain, but you don't have any, or you can spend 1 to pass 1 forward, or spend 2 to pass a call yourself.
Okay, so it says I'm allowed to spend these as well for extending support for +1 scene, but I didn't succeed. So maybe they just don't shoot me for another round.
Sure.
So I'd like to use my advantage on.
Okay. You toss your weapons under the tent. You hear them get grabbed. And, do you walk in? They're not responding.
Oren puts his hands up and simply says, "I'm asking for permission," and he licks his tongue after he says this, "to come into your tent."
You hear a very, very dumbfounded sounding, "Come in?"
Oren slowly walks in, and as he sees everyone around, he says, "I get it. I don't fit in here."
There are about 10 blasters aimed at you right now.
Thorin keeps his hands up.
There's an unconscious Ioni on the floor, and it looks like, as you were walking over, there's kind of half-completed binds made out of rope put on her.
Thorin simply says, "As a token of good faith, I have been a contractor. More specifically, big game. I have grab binders if they're required, but that's not why I'm here." And Thorin simply says,
"The guy you were chasing points at you, says, that's him. That's the guy that was chasing me." And the
Thorin looks at
get
him.
higher.
Thorin looks at him and says, "I'm not a people person. I'm sorry for scaring you. Listen, there is a simple thing to explain why I'm here. Do you remember the light cruiser in orbit?"
Do you have a comm?
"I do."
Give it to me. Now.
Thorin hands it over, and he actually hands over his backup that he has as well.
Can I hear any of this going on?
Roll the same perception check.
Hard at this point, even though I've watched him go in there and I'm staring
Okay,
at
no,
the door.
that's gonna be average with 2 boosts.
Okay.
But it is.
Because hard is getting a little ridiculous with how much I watch go.
No, it was hard before because you were not like next to it, and stun rounds are not that loud.
Okay.
Yes, you hear what's going on.
And Thorin does, however, he continues his thing where he asks them about the light cruiser that was in orbit as of maybe a day ago.
Listen, your friend, acquaintance, comrade, I don't care.
Thorin interjects.
Unconscious on the ground.
Thorin interjects and says, "We're part of the crew that shot it down."
Great. Good for you. I don't care.
Thorin simply looks at the Twi'lek leader and says, "You should. I'm not the people person. That's the one that would have been much better to talk to. You got me at this point. We want to help." And Thorin actually looks at the guy he chased and says, "I did offer food and water for what it's worth."
Listen, I'm gonna put your grav binders on yourself, and you are going to sit in the corner where I'm about to tie up and put your friend. As of right now, I know that both of you have chased one of my friends for no real reason other than trying to find me. And from what I can tell, you're both pretending to want to help, I don't know at this point. Honestly, I don't care. You're gonna do
Question.
that, and then I'm gonna call the rest of your friends on your comlink. If they don't share your exact story, you won't be waking up tomorrow.
Okay, at this point, I'm gonna walk off a little bit and then actually calm their calm link.
Okay.
Who are you calling?
The leader in there who has
Okay.
Thorn's comm link.
You call Thorin's comlink, and it rings, and Thorin, you watch her look, the leader look at the comlink. Well, it seems like it's just working out today. If you talk at all, I will shoot you. And
Thorin nods.
she answers the comlink. Hello, your friend is a little predisposed.
No, I'm very much aware. I watched him make a fool of himself.
You know what just happened?
Yes, unfortunately.
She ends the call.
Okay.
Thorin simply just kind of puts his mouth together and kind of
How
has like
many
a really.
people are outside?
Thorin? Hold on, Zath. Okay, I'm really confused to how this works. So Zath, I saw him in the street, but was he in this tent?
No, not in the tent. Zath
Okay,
was
cool.
walking around. He's gonna try and calm the comm link back.
Thorin yelled at him once and didn't look for Zath again. Thorin quite honestly looks at her and says, I'm gonna be honest. There's gonna be 2 at most. We're a bit of an uncoordinated bunch since we got into town, and we just got chased by a bunch of spiders in a crypt we didn't think existed before we landed here. I'm a little dazed right now.
We're a little uncoordinated. I think that's the understatement of the century.
Everyone kind of, sort of actively working against each other. Yes,
Yeah. Zath's gonna try and calm the comm link again. See if there's a response.
She is not picking up.
Okay.
As I'm sitting here though, Knight,
He'll keep doing it until she does.
do the slaves in here look malnourished at all?
Vaguely. Like,
I still have my wilderness survival pack, and all of the food and water that comes with it. But Thorin does offer it again, as he does motion to it, says, I won't even grab it. I'll let 2 of you come take it off me. You can have the food if you need it. I'm trying to make a token of good faith here. I thought disarming myself was something, but as much of an invitation that isn't gang culture, I'm still learning the rest of the galaxy.
to be perfectly fair, you did hand them a gravity generator and a brass knuckle. They know exactly what type of fighter you are.
Yeah.
They do, but also my hands are like very much in the air, and my right arm is probably droopy because it's missing its primary component.
I will also say that as he's continuing to calm, Zath is trying to put some distance between him and this tent. So they can't just come out there, see a dude on a comm link, and get him too.
So fucking dumb.
But yeah, it's
So,
he's still trying to actively calm Thorin's comm link.
let me get this straight. I'm supposed to believe you. You all landed here yesterday, or today. I've gotten 2 different answers so far. You have explored a crypt with spiders, then came here because there's something wrong with your ship, but by the way, you blew up the Architens. But also you're here to help me, but you also chased one of my people through the streets, and now I know there's someone outside that was listening in to the entire conversation. And you expect me, in any way, shape, or form, to like, trust, or even work with you.
Thorin actually says, listen, it's in my blood. I'm just looking for option 3.
Comm link's still going off.
Yeah, she's not answering it.
Thorin, after that, says, it's a little hard to explain what we are, but Thorin very slowly says, might I show you what we found in the cave?
so important. Well, I guess I don't understand how what you found in a cave will change literally anything.
Thorin isn't saying that as he wants to change anything, but just to prove that Thorin is being truthful in what he is saying.
Dude, you are going to show her a fucking crystal? How does
Fuck
she
yes,
know?
I
How
am.
does she know it's from any sort of cave?
Thorin doesn't know either.
Okay, you're assuming that she knows it's what type of crystal it is. You
No.
don't even
Fuck,
know
I'm
what type of
not.
crystal
I'm just trying to
it
show
is.
her a crystal I got from a cave.
You're like, yo, look
Okay.
at this cool thing.
Listen, listen.
Look
Look
at
at
this.
this fun rock I found,
Okay,
lady who's
listen,
actively attempting to kill me.
The former pirate just walked in here. Originally, yes, I get it. I chased him down. The despair, very sad. All right. The pirate's
Also,
in here right
real
now.
quick, I want to make sure I'm not insane. Like, you guys do understand her reasoning for why she's
No,
acting
I
like
absolutely
Oh, I
do.
completely
He's
understand.
completely valid in all of her concerns. Dead ass.
Just wanted to make sure.
Anyways, Thorin says, "I'll show you that to prove that I went to a cave." Oh, actually, hold on. Can Thorin just show his fucking gigantic spider bite? Because I got
Where-
bit by one of them.
That is true.
So-
You got healed, I believe. I don't know if you got.
I'm
fully healed.
still wounded. I still have seven
Okay.
wounds.
No, fair
Or yeah,
enough.
7 of wounds.
So you can show you can show the spider bite, and that would like she evidently looks at it kind of confused, and like isn't really positive what to think of it, but keeps the blasters raised.
And then okay, hold on. What are those spiders called again? I forgot.
They're called photon spiders. But you
Photon
guys
spiders?
don't know that.
I don't necessarily know that.
They're just spiders.
Okay,
Just
can I?
spiders. They were
Okay.
running at you.
Thorin simply says, "I'm telling the truth about what I've told you. We're here, because yes, our ship has stopped working. Turns out this planet's colder than hell. That being said, we need parts so that we can leave. You seem to have an issue with manpower because, no offense to your lovely group here, manpower's lacking. You've got injured with no way to treat them. The one you just shot with a stun round is a doctor. I, on the other hand, am just hired muscle. Now, to make this easy, we have things that we need credits. You need help with this, unless you intend to stare down the Hutt, his wrath, and an Imperial garrison, and expect to come out without anyone dying. So why not make it some random strangers who walked into a tent? That's it. That's Thorin's piece. That's an oldie thing.
You have another friend in this commune that can corroborate your story that was not listening in on this. Also, I'm about to break your commune. Whoever it is that keeps on calling you is extremely annoying.
Thorin looks at the woman and says, I don't know, I don't even know which one is calling me that much. But I've had some crazy cantina one-night stands that aren't this bad. I understand. The only person that can say they were in the cave with me, and Thorin motions to Ione and says, is one that was there with us but didn't help us shoot down the light cruiser. That's the only part they can't corroborate, but they can say we're all a part of the same crew. Oh, do you want me to sit here and lie? Like, bro, I just tried to charm my way
I
in.
know. I'm just realizing that they probably know who that is.
Oh, yeah. And, oh, fuck. Yeah.
So
Oh.
which number on this commune is it? And if you tell me the one that has been calling me incessantly, I'm probably gonna smash it.
Thorin motions to Cryonix com code.
Great. Thank you. Try Innick. You get a call on your
Hello.
comm link.
Cryonic picks up. What is it? I'm playing shogi.
Hello. I was just talking with your friend here that has this here comm link I'm calling you on. He told me this really funny story that I was hoping you also tell me something about a crypt in the mountain.
Yes, there was a temple within the mountain that we were drawn to, the four of us.
And what else?
I had I had been the first to arrive. They were not very long after me. They helped me unlock the temple. Within, we went through a numerous amount of trials. One of which being a rather annoying swath of incredibly large ice spiders that nearly got my friend killed.
Upon hearing the one that got killed, Thorin kind of smiles and kind of jingles his hands just a tiny bit.
I nearly
Um,
fell down a crevice.
the
Is
call
there any particular
abruptly
reason?
ends, and she throws the comm links, both ones. Actually, she's gonna keep your backup. Fuck you.
Oh, come on, man. That's in my
She
pack. I don't
throws.
want to edit the description of that.
Basically, she doesn't actually have a comm link because they're slaves. So she's taking it.
Okay.
But she throws you a comm link back, and looks over at Ione, kicks her in the ribs, and then unties her.
Thorin looks at the slave leader.
Thorin, your comm link is still going off.
You two are
Thorin blocks your comm tag.
biggest. You two are possibly the biggest idiots I have ever met in my entire life. You just. You are so incredibly lucky that I decided to keep you alive long enough to call the other friend, and he corroborated you on pretty much everything you said, except for shooting down the Imperial cruiser.
Which I did say he would say.
I hate all of you. Anyway, to be honest, I don't care to actually rebel against the Hutts here. I would just like to get me and my people off world. So if you have a ship that can do that, then we'd be happy to help you.
Thorin looks at the leader of them, and he starts up and says, "That kick had gracious form. Can you display it again for me on the same person?"
No.
Just Thorin simply kind of like clutches his comlink and says, "Worth a shot," and he puts his comlink back into his right arm as he says, "We have a ship. It's quite large. I wouldn't be able to make any agreements on behalf of the captain of it. But if we can get it operational, you help us out. Don't see why we wouldn't help you."
Calm the captain, get him to come here. Or, well, actually, rather, meet in a neutral place. And then I can discuss it with him. Or, well, I guess you can discuss it with him for me. I don't really care. I want off-world, I want out of the Hutt's clutches. If you have a ship that can carry us, then I don't see an issue.
Thorin looks at him and says, "I can call him right now, and this is a 30-second conversation." He's a pretty direct man.
Sure, whatever.
Thorin tries to ring Captain Sev.
They'll pick up.
Thorin-
Hello?
Thorin rapidly explains, "Captain, I found us a way to potentially get off-world. Downside, the people who are going to help us want to leave with us when we do."
How many are there?
Thorin looks to the Twi'lek leader after that question was asked.
She shrugs. Like, I don't know, a couple hundred.
Thorin grimaces and says, "Couple hundred, Captain." You ever thought
So-
about getting into the passenger business?
Sev, thinks and then says, fine, but with that many people, we could empty out all of the factories.
Thorin gets kind of like a Like a sly grin, looks at the Twilight leader. Still holding the comic between the two of them and says, emptying out all those Imperial factories could be real nice for security and a profit.
Yeah, she'll agree to it, I guess. It's just not the way I saw this going.
It wasn't the way I saw it going either. Oh no.
So, at that, I think I'm going to call it.
Okay.
So this will be a 10 XP session.
Okay.
Alright. With that, we'll call it there for today. As always, have a good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are, and stay frosty. For those of you who enjoyed the music and are watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe and ring that notification bell to get more content like this in the future. To support the Graves, our beautiful musicians, and the channel, please view the links down in the description. And until next time.
I went to the store to get my dog a whistle, but as it turns out, oh, they were all sold out. And I don't wanna run away, but everyone around me wants change, 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 oh, change, 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 oh, change, 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 oh, conformity, conformity, conformity to change, singing, whoa, where does the wind go? In my ass and out my ears, I really don't wanna trade my tears for fears. So where does the wind go? On my head, on my head, on your head, on your head, on my head, on my head, on your head, on your head. On my head, on my head, with your thumbs and tears for touch, you draw me from dust and turn me into such. All you granted me was lust, and what I seem to